Good morning, I am Pete, also known as Grist for Rewards. Got just over 7,000 followers on Twitter, so if you don't follow me, you can follow me there, or click subscribe here in the YouTube link if you want to catch all of my videos first, because they're normally going to be uploaded here first. Going to be quicks today. We're going to have a quick run through of yesterday. Some mighty performances. Allaho, take your hat off to him. There's no in between really there. He did everything you expected. As I said yesterday, it wasn't a massive betting race because I couldn't be with him because I wasn't sure he'd stay due to his 0 for 2 in the past. But he proved all the doubters wrong. He was always the best horse in the race. We knew that. And it was a gift the last 2 Ryanairs, and that shows it now. So interesting to see what they end up doing with Allaho, Aplutard, and Galloping Des Champs, because if they meet in the Gold Cup, that's going to be some spectacle. Hopefully one of them throughout the year may fall just short, and then they'll drop into Ryanair, and it'll be a nice easy pickup for us at Cheltenham, some easy money. Just a review, Phil's Dudaris yesterday. I mean, that was an awful ride from Nico. I don't often, he's one of those riders where he's got a way of caressing horses into the race, but you could see it from the first furlong that he was going to get mullered because there was plenty of Irish runners in there, and he put himself against the rail, and even once I thought he'd got away with it, and when he kicked away to go for home, he then kind of hesitated. He kicked, started going away from them, and then he thought, I want to hold a bit just so I can outstay the running. And he ended up just a sitting duck against the rail. And to lose after reverse placings, he lost a head to the horse that had no interference whatsoever. He's got to win that race. If that's like an AP McCoy or whatever, get your elbows out, put your elbows across. I mean, Danny Mullins absolutely mullered him, even on the head on. Like in other countries, the 3rd place horse, Deploy the Getaway, would have just been booted straight out of the race. He left himself no room to whip. He couldn't do anything. So really poor ride. And obviously it lets the double down. But Phil's Dudaris will obviously still be well handicapped, depending on what he gets after that. Yeah, the nice guy. The nap lands, but more importantly, he's a brilliant horse. It just looked very similar to Galloping Des Champs. He was just a big, gangly frame of a horse, and he just seems to still look green yesterday. He got nudged along at times, but he just finds and finds, and I really like him still for the Brown Advisory. He's currently about 6s. If he gets confirmed for that race, he'll probably be 4-1 favourite. Him and Hillcrest are my current Brown Advisory horses. Hillcrest around 25-1 after his flop, but I haven't given up on him. Facile Vega, very impressive again. I thought he was beat when Redemption Day came up. I thought Redemption Day is going to be a very good horse, as shown here. And when he loomed up next to him, and Facile just found more and more. And that marked me out for me more as a supreme horse, a horse that can stay all the way around at such a speed, but then finds with big gears. But it's going to be interesting to see how they both get on over hurdles, because much like last year with your Kilcruits and Sir Gerards, you don't know how they're going to train on if one's going to get injured. So anyway, enough of yesterday. Let's get on to today. So it is day 3, Punchestown Thursday. First race is quite simple. 340 only Sky. This is a Harrington horse, and it opened at 16. It's currently about 10 or 11-1. And she's won it twice in the last 4 years and had a 2nd and 4th in 2018. She relies on one runner this year. So quite simply, she is my selection. She targets the race, and only Sky is a selection. 4:15 Grange Walk. It's been on my tracker since when we had the big lander on the Wave of the Sea at the Dublin Racing Festival. This horse looked a real danger when looming up, and I thought he was going to go past. He didn't. Wave of the Sea won, which was brilliant for us. But in 3rd was Bazio, who's finished 2nd in the Topham, and in 4th was Mount Leinster, who's won twice since. I put him up last time out, and he was double figures, sent off 13-2 against Mount Leinster. Mount Leinster looked, to me, Grange Walk had just hit the front, and he was about to go away from Mount Leinster pretty easily, but he fell. So he's not been put up. He's actually put up £1, whereas Mount Leinster's carrying an extra £6, and I think he had his measure that day. So I think he has the joint favourite. I think he has his beating. And it looks like de Bromheim's just emptied his half his stand. He's put like headgear on and all sorts, just throwing what he's got in there. He's got about 6 runners. So you don't know if one of them's going to bounce back to form and overachieve. But I think if Grange Walk replicates what he had last year, 3-1's more than fair. And he'd be one of my stronger bets for the day. 5:25 is the Stayers Hurdle. And the main angle here is I just don't really like the favourite. I've been a big fan of Classical Dream, but I think he needs plenty of time between his races, like 4 or 5 months. and then he produces. The main difference is he still travels like an absolute monster, but he just doesn't find anything. Like he's emptied both at Cheltenham and the time before. He got to 2 out and he just found nothing, like very, very little, and he just plodded on. So yeah, okay, he could go and win because obviously it's a flatter track, sharper test, and this track will definitely suit him because he can stay on the bridle and he'll be delivered very late. But the downside of it is the fact that he's a 5-4 favourite in a load of horses that plenty of unexposed at the trip. They haven't met his level, but they're unexposed at the trip. So I've took 2 flyers, and the Devil's Coachman, who reverts back to hurdles after a pretty failed chasing campaign. His last time out, he beat 2 of the horses that ran well in the Coral Cup, the winner and the 3rd place horse, who I cannot see at the moment, but the 1st and the 3rd, he beat them pretty comprehensively, and it was a staying performance going away around 2 mile 5. So step up and trip your suit. They are concerned about the ground, as am I. So if it's not today for him, it might be next time. And the other one's Vanillier. Vanillier's always looked a good stayer for me, having won that Albert Bartlett, but he was a terrible jumper over fences, and I couldn't understand it. To even still be in contention 4 out in the National Hunt Chase, the way he jumped, he was taking half the fences with him. So I mean, he's the outside of the field as well at 14 to 1. So if he can produce his hurdle form, I think he could be there. It's been a long season for him, so he might be next year's progress, but we'll see. But the main angle is I really don't like the favourite. I mean, I think that'll be odds on with it as soon as the running begins, and I wouldn't put anyone off laying him. Obviously, I don't know. He could easily go away and win, but at the same time, you pay your money and take your choice. 6:35, Gentleman Demise, unfortunately a non-runner. So I'm going to revert to back in St. Sam and Hut and Calor at 4 and 5 to 1. I think they'll probably both go off about 5 to 1, which means through the pair you're getting 2 to 1 for them 2 coupled. Mainly for the same reasons as the Arkle. I liked Edwardstone, and then there was the rest. Whereas the same here, I really don't like. Blue Lord hasn't really done a lot for me. Gabinaco's been running over further, dropped back to the Arkle, good run in second. How much should that take out of him? St. Sam and Hut and Calor, they just don't seem to be able to put it all in at the moment. Hut and Calor beat Gentleman to me quite comprehensively, but since then he doesn't seem to have put 110% and lined all his eggs up. St. Sam, if he could stay on his feet, he might run a race because he fell again at Cheltenham. So there could be a big one in both of them. I'd rather have those two at 2 to 1 coupled than have Blue Lord or Gabinaco. So not a particularly strong bet with the favourite gone now, but that's the one for me. And then in the 7:45, we've got James's Gate. The same as yesterday, his form was boosted. He finished 3rd behind Facile Vega. His form was obviously strongly boosted there. That was only his 2nd run. The only concern is the fact this will be close to good ground. He's only ran on heavy, whereas Facile Vega had form on both. But the yard don't seem as much of an issue. The owners sponsor the Ballymore, so they've already said that if he turns into a Cheltenham horse, he will be Ballymore bound, so he's 10 to 1 for that. So if you can get a price on him to win today and also to win the Ballymore, wouldn't put anyone off that. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't confirm form with the 2nd favourite from the Elliott yard, because he finished 9th that day at Cheltenham as opposed to his 3rd. And whilst they could get closer for the better ground, this looks a weaker race than the sort of race that they had yesterday. And Redemption Day, obviously, who finished 2nd yesterday, finished well behind James's Gate. So yeah, I'll be expecting him to turn the form there. And then just 2 for the handicap. 1, obviously, Hendo sends over with his great record of 4 for like 19. Hopefully Nico will give it a better ride. That's City Chief, currently around 8 to 1. And then also Sassy Yet Classy. A horse that I liked, it was Davy Russell's ride at Cheltenham, but now he's got £7 off and Jordan Gainford in the saddle. And I'm expecting him to go close. So if you're looking to me to point 2 out, if I was going to have to say 2 in a double, I'd probably go with Grange Walk and James's Gate at the prices. But it's quite a low-key day just to watch and enjoy, and just hope that there's a bit of class comes through. But yeah, right, enjoy.